Hi, I'm Stuart and welcome to Sirennet Television. The gang over at Starcar has been quite busy. In fact, they've just completed a 2016 Ford Interceptor utility, which we'd like to give you the opportunity to take a look at. And Chris, along with our illustrious camera crew, Wade, he's by himself actually, have been over at Starcar taking a look at the vehicle. So the vehicle is the 2016 Ford Interceptor utility, got a whole variety of different equipment on board. And who better to give you a good tour than the Tourmeister, Mr. Chris. Chris.
Thank you, Stuart, and thank you for joining us here at Starcars. The guys are working on a pair of 2016 Ford utilities that are being turned into patrol vehicles. This one here is in completely stock trim, so nothing has been done to it whatsoever. So actually right now the guys are working on getting all the accessories offloaded out of it so they can start the decommission, so the tear down of the interior for adding everything into it. So lighting systems, siren, partitions, transport seat, console, and all the other accoutrement. So totally stock trim, yet to be touched. Fun thing is, if we cruise over here across the shop, making our way through all the components related to the install process, here is the second utility. So this one is in the works, as you guys can see. And after all, it's a little intimidating when you see one of these come in, totally stock trim, and then you see one torn down. But that is the great thing about the guys at Starcars. They do this every day and they make it look so easy. So in this case here, front end has been taken off. Devin has been working on getting the push bumper from Setina all set up, so that'll be making a home there with speakers and lighting accessories. Danny been working away hard on the interior. So with that, all the stock interior has been taken out. They've added the wiring harnesses for the accessories on the inside, the outside, and prisoner transport system being installed. Lighting equipment has also been added on to it. So Lightbar on the roof, mirror beams from Whelen Engineering, and some lighting accessories on the rear hatch for the rear warning package. Well, as you can see, Danny's hard work has been paying off, but there is still a lot more ahead. Front recess panel Setina partition is just about being completed. Still a bit more bolts for securing this into place. You'll notice some changes as far as the rear goes. Side compartments have been reinstalled, and with that, a few modifications have gone on with them as well. Up on the top, dual Avengers from Whelen going through the side rear windows. Over onto the driver's side, we have an addition to the compartment light, so a 3-inch from Whelen for lighting up the rear area. You'll also see that the wiring has all been nice and cleaned up and now exists in a big clean loom ready to tie into the electrical yet to come. And also, passenger door, driver door alike, Setina polycarbonate window barrier kit has been bolted on. One of my favorite things about coming down here to Starcars and seeing the vehicle installation process is all the fine things that sometimes get overlooked that we take for granted. So in this case here, we happen to have the headlight buckets. So these are the fresh design for the 2016 platform. Ford did some refreshes. So up here we have the low beam, that's a nice fresh LED white. They have gone back to a traditional high beam that's an incandescent. So for those of you wanting to go back to an effective wigwag, you can do that with these again. So great to see there. But when it comes to doing a hideaway, you have a couple different options and a couple different formats to go with that. In this case here, for these utilities, we are using Code 3's MR6 in white in the insert here. So a couple different options that you can do with some different manufacturers' Lightheads. Again, in this case, Code 3 is the one we've chosen to go along. If you're wanting to use a traditional hideaway, you can do so and add them into the section here where there is an amber parking light contained. So nice thing about the fresh headlights, lots of different options. Headlight flasher, LED insert here on the inboard side, and Lighthead insert on the outside for that critical intersection pop. Well, it's another day at installation, and Devin, Danny, and Austin, what else can I say besides the fact that these guys do an impressive job and make it look so easy, and they do it so fast as well. So when we last left, gave you a look at the headlight buckets on the utility and the Code 3 MR6s that have been installed into them for corner, intersection, pop, and white. So Devin's got the front bumper all reinstalled as well as the rest of the front end accessories. So with that, he's finished up the Setina PB400 and added a pair of our Sirennet speakers to it, as well as a set of Whelen Engineering's Nano 6s. On the bumper corners, couple different options when it comes to the utility platforms, with or without fog lights. For our utilities here that don't have the fog light option, it has the black insert. So to take advantage of adding effective low-level lighting, surface mount Vertex's perfect solution. With Devin having taken point and getting the front end of the utility all reassembled and to the point that you've just seen, Austin has been hard at work finishing up the prisoner transport area. So Setina hard seat has been installed, polycarbonate window and closeout wings to finish it off. So the only thing that's left to do here is install the side closeout wings on the front partition. Well, as you can see, the utility inside and outside getting closer and closer to being completed. So the main focus now of the installation is going to come to the central wiring and power distribution. So big, heavy-duty wiring harnesses that the guys here at Star Cars have put together themselves by hand. So everything measured out, all the appropriate colors labeled and marked along through the entire vehicle. So those are all now going to come back here to our Troy electronic storage shelf. DNR power distribution control module has been added. So this is where all of the wiring harness points are going to tie into, as well as a whole array of fusing that's yet to be installed. For the operating system in the vehicle, we're taking advantage of Whelen's 295 SD-A1. So this is the amplification and tie-in point for that system. To the side of it, we're taking advantage of Whelen's PFLASH module, which we'll show you at the end and how that ties in with the vehicle. Working on points now for containing wires and a point for tying in multiple connection points, so a 4-bus block. Over here, a central on-off switch for the entire electrical system, so a master kill, and the block here, Whelen Engineering's WCCP, so the control module for our Liberty Lightbar on the roof. As the installation process continues, Danny has found his way to the front interior, and as you can see, he has gotten a lot finished up in here. Starting on the passenger side, working our way down under the glove box, we have our ProGuard AOI passenger control module. On the floor, the floor plate from Havis for our MDT mounting system, lower pull as well. Also our equipment console, and as you can see, Danny is working his way through all the wiring there, getting that all ready to go for the radios and controller that's yet to be installed. On the Setina partition in the recess panel, a dual weapon mount has been installed. You'll also notice on it 2 chargers for the flashlights, one for a mag light, one for a Pelican. Moving our way up behind the driver's seat, affixed to the partition and roll bar is the Motorola radio repeater for the in-vehicle radio rebroadcasting. And up behind the passenger near headrest, mounted on a bracket, is our Zebra dock for our ticket printer. How far away are you from the radios and controller going in, and what are some of those wires all going to tie into?
I'm probably about an hour and a half or 2 hours away from putting all this together. This bundle of wires is all the wires coming from under the hood, and we're connecting them in here, and then they're going back to the power distribution. This siren speaker wires and wires for the front lights, wires for the horn ring, and then this bundle here is wires that are spares for future upgrades or add-ons. And then we have a couple wires here for the radio, power, and ignition. And all this is laptop power, map light, airbag switch down there, and radio rebroadcast for the Siren controller. And these are the flashlight and the printer on the partition. They'll just connect to these ones in here.
Well, from the finely tuned installation team known as Star Cars, I am proud to bring you the completed installation of the 2016 Utility Interceptor Patrol. The only thing that is left to do on this is a simple wash and buff, so a detail before it makes its way home, starts its daily patrol. On the front end, with everything buttoned up, Setina PB400 push bumper looks absolutely wonderful, offers nice protection for the wonderful fresh front end. As you can see on the horizontal bar, it's a wonderful mounting platform for our front Whelen Nanos, which we're utilizing as a wigwag in the case of this patrol, versus tying in and using the halogen high beams and the headlight buckets that we showed you previously. Well, speaking of headlights, white Code 3 MR6s flashing away, ideal for intersection and off-axis coverage. Moving down here for low level, surface mount Whelen Vertexes, red on the driver, blue following suit on the passenger. And before we make our way further down the vehicle, again on the Setina PB400, a pair of our Sirennet speakers giving this vehicle 200 watts worth of tone output. With the bright effectiveness of the front end lighting setup, midship lighting and off axis for intersection coverage is taken care of by our Whelen mirror beam kit. Conveniently overlays the factory rear view mirrors, driver's side suiting red, passenger blue. With the effectiveness of the perimeter lighting system, front, sides, rear alike, the Liberty Lightbar on the roof takes the top. Red and blues flashing away, as you can see, offering the effectiveness and high intensity output of the center mount takedowns, and for lighting up and spotting things to the side, high intensity alley lights as well. For taking care of lighting output at the back of the utility, Whelen dual Avengers are wonderfully mounted through the side third windows. A great thing about these, as you can see, is they have a wonderful off axis. So ideal when it comes to viewing the vehicle from the sides or at an angle alike. So when it's running code through intersections or parked at an angle blocking traffic for a scene, these are going to be visible no matter where you're seeing them from. Rounding out the lighting, Whelen Ions with the Ion BK22 bracket set taking position on the rear spoiler hatch, and StarCar's done a great job tying the red, blues together as far as flash pattern setting and synchronization. So it gives that 6-light array a really nice, clean, and functional look. So no breaks as far as a purple, nice red and blue footprints. And then the last of the lighting in the taillights in white is Code 3's Police Interceptor twist blocks. So really well suited when it comes to these taillights, and a hideaway, put it in the hole, twist it in, wire it in, you're taken care of. To resolve the loss of lighting when the rear hatch is lifted, Whelen Vertexes have been brought in and recess mounted into the bottom of the cargo panel. Well, Dandy's handiwork has turned out absolutely wonderful. As you remember, when you last saw this console, it was opened and wiring was all strung about. Well, it is all complete now, everything closed up, radio nice and cleanly mounted, microphones below, and the most important part of our console is our Whelen Siren and Lighting Controller. It's their 295 SD-A1. This offers the operator a progressive slide switch tying into all the bright LED lighting, push buttons tying into the overhead Liberty Lightbar, alleys, takedowns, and traffic advisor function built into the rear alike. Low power activates the overhead Liberty and turns it down into an appropriate nighttime mode, and front scene light steady burns our front Nanos on the Setina push bumper. For siren tone control, nice thing about the 295 SD-A1 is that it is a dual tone fixture. So this allows easy control of the tones continuously or momentarily. Well, that's going to bring an end to our look at the installation on the 2016 Patrol Utility. Everyone here at StarCars, I would like to thank very, very much. As always, your guys' wonderful skills, craftsmanship, and attention to detail, well appreciated. What can I say? It turns out great every time. I'm Chris. Thanks for joining me here on Sirennet Television. Back to you, Stuart.
Well, there you have it. Chris, our tour meister over at StarCar. Big shout out to all the gang, Danny, Devin, Doug, Ted, and everybody else, not forgetting Austin. By the way, Austin is a dad. Just throw that out there. New baby born recently to his beautiful wife. He's very, very happy, as we all are when Bambinos rock up at our doorstep. I'm Stuart. You've been watching Sirennet Television. Have a great day.